You have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe now. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Guys, I apologize. I feel like it's been, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, however long it's been. But we're here, and we've seen Shin Ultraman.
Yes!
And I think everybody has.
Yeah. I mean, do we remember it, though? It has been a while.
I remember parts of it. Jay, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, great, grand, hunky-dory even. I'm excited to talk because we got so much has happened over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whenever the last time we recorded. And it was actually, you apologize, but it was really my fault last week. I was unfortunately under the weather, which delayed this episode a week.
Sure.
But we're all here. And we're ready to talk not only Shin Ultraman, but we got some pickups. We got a little bit of toy news. We got a little bit of everything.
Little bit of everything this week. You even watched some movies.
I've watched some stuff. Yeah, I've watched some stuff that wasn't Shin Ultraman. And yeah, it's been crazy. But you know what? You always ask me how I'm doing. I'm going to return it back around. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. I had a very exciting pickup show up today that I'll show off, and
it showed up.
Excited about it. Something showed up. Yep. And today I thought it was gonna. The tracking said that it was the delivery was gonna be on Thursday, and I was like, oh, this thing's gonna show up the day after we record Monster Island. I'm gonna have to wait a whole other 2 weeks, but it showed up this morning, and I'm excited about it because it's the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. It's cool. But yeah, I'm good, dude. Just been chilling. I'm excited to get back into buying some toys. I kind of been chilling out a little bit on Kaiju buying, but I want to buy something. I want to give you some money. I want to give Toku Toy Town some of my cash, which is what everybody should be doing. Check out Toku Toy. That's where I get, it's so weird. Like, it's where I get most of my Kaiju stuff from is from Toku Toy Town. And it's not just because Jay's my friend. It's because Jay knows where to find stuff. He knows how to get the goods. I
got people. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. No, and I know
I mean it.
And I know what your thing is. I'm really excited. I wish it would have shown up on Tuesday, yesterday, so you could have talked about it on your other show, the hit sensation Toy Anxiety, with you and Craig and Abby and Ryan Dole, because that would have been, I think that would have blown their non-kaiju centric minds.
We'll see
what this thing is.
I'll show it off next week on Toy Anxiety. So.
I'm excited. Yeah. So that's it, man.
I've just been thinking about Shin Ultraman. What do you want to do? You want to get some news? You want to get some toy news? You want to get pickups? What do you want to do?
You know, real quick, I can talk about a couple things that I've been watching recently.
Let's do that.
One, I'm not joking, was I got my G-Fan in the mail, and it was an advertisement on the inside cover for this American-made, like, tokusatsu show that was streaming on Shout, on the Shout Factory platform, which has great stuff on there. You know, it's like a tokusatsu stuff on there and everything. Anyway, they had this on there, and I was like, this is interesting, because I looked and I saw, hey, that's the Japanese actress that played what's her name? Akane Ishiro in Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. That's Ben Browder from Farscape and Stargate and whatever. And there's some other and there's Billy Zane. He's in it. Like, what the heck is this? It's called Ike Boys, IKE, Ike Boys. And I didn't do too much of a deep dive into it. I was just like, where did this thing come from? It is an American film. And I won't give any spoilers away because it's free. You guys can go and watch it. But it was, I think, started like pre-pandemic, and then they had to like finish up some stuff post-pandemic, and there were some challenges, but they got out. I think it was filmed in Wisconsin, of all places, the Tokusatsu capital of the world. And essentially it's like the premise is, and it's a really great premise. It's like this big, huge Tokusatsu star director, like, had a prophecy, and he had this vision, and he goes, I have to create this anime, this film, so it'll change the world. And he does, and it bombs, and nobody can find a copy of it with the actual ending of it. Fast forward, and these like kind of two American nerds in high school, you know, we can all relate, right? Like, you know, talking, all they care about is Tokusatsu. He gets this copy, and basically it turns them into Tokusatsu heroes, and then it plays out, and there's some really, it's a total like love letter to Tokusatsu and Kaiju, and it's somewhere between like low budget and mid budget. It's some in that range, right? Like it's not like, I mean, it's cheesy, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I can see the wires and stuff. Low budget. And like I said, they have real actors and actresses in it. But it was fun. It was like definitely like a fun, like targeting probably, I don't know, maybe teenage-ish fans of Tokusatsu. Like it's definitely for a younger audience. But it was a fun watch. And like I said, seeing Ben Browder and I apologize, I can't remember the actress' name, and Billy Zane's in there, and like it's crazy, but very fun film. I recommend go watch it, and you know, it's not going to change your life, and it's not going to be in your top 10 list. I know, right? But Ike Boys, it was something that was really just kind of random, and all through the power of a magazine advertisement. Never even heard of it.
I mean, it sounds fun. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check
it's
that out.
Funny premise. And then and one other thing, you know how I watched Ultraman 66, which we'll mention that a lot today.
Yeah.
And then I did my top 10 episodes, and I did the same thing with Ultra 7. And I started to do Return of Ultraman. And you know, Ultraman Jack, as he was, you know, known after the fact, but I kind of got a little like there were some great episodes in the early part, but like it's also like way, like I don't even know how many episodes it is, like 80 or something. It's a ton. Maybe not that many, but I got a little bored. So I actually said, you know what I'm going to do? I still want to stay in the Ultra world. And I was like, I haven't rewatched Ultra Q in a while. So I just started a couple of days ago rewatching some Ultra Q, and I'm just like 5 or 6 episodes in, and I forgot how much I love that show. I mean, I guess I didn't forget how much I loved it. I just want to, you know, reiterate how much I love the show.
In a while. That's I feel like that's a show that's always on my mind, and I'm like, I should rewatch some Ultra Q episodes because it's so good. It is so good.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like I love the Namagon episode, and there's just so many just fun ones.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some clunkers in there, as any serialized show has to have, but it's really fun. So I'm gonna continue to watch that. Maybe I'll do a top 10 on the Ultra Q, just like I did Ultraman and Ultra 7. And that's kind of my goal, is like to get that knocked out. And in the next month or so, I think it'll be fun.
I can't even remember. There's not that many episodes. It's
not
super long or anything like that.
No.
I've never seen. Is there not another Ultra Q that they did like years later? They kind of
It was.
I've not seen any of that.
It was kind of done, I think, a little bit on a lower budget too, right? I forgot what that was. I can't even remember what time period. But yes, I've seen that available as well. But I don't know. Was that even like officially licensed by SuperFestival?
I'm not sure. I thought it had. Did it not have some of the same actors in it?
Maybe it did.
I don't know. I don't know anything. I've not seen it, so I don't really know anything about it.
Once you get after
I'm like vaguely aware it exists.
Yeah, once you get after like 1972, my Ultra knowledge goes from
there's too much of it.
Working knowledge to like nothing. And once you get into the modern stuff, which I know we have listeners that know that backward and forward, and the piece I've seen, there's some really good stuff, but my world stays back in the show era on a lot of that.
I mean, I buy it when I see it, you know, especially since they've been re-releasing a lot of it on DVD and Blu-ray and the steelbooks. And I've been buying all the steelbooks, but then there's like, you'll walk into Walmart and there's a DVD with 3 Ultraman movies on it, and it's all like more modern stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to buy this. I don't know when I'm going to get around to watching this, but I feel better knowing that I have it and it's waiting on me. Well, get to it at some point.
Speaking of Blu-rays and DVDs, I got one in the mail this week. that I'm really excited about. We mentioned it, I think, way back when we did our South Korean monster episode of Yongari and We're the God Monsters with the lost film, the space monster. What is it? Wong Mogwi or whatever. I'm probably butchering. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Close enough.
Yeah, but SRS Cinema. That it came in the mail this week. So I'm excited. I think maybe that might be one that we have to review just because it is like it's getting a little bit of buzz because like I said,
it's something new. It's something new to watch and talk about that not many people have seen yet.
Yeah. So I'm excited to actually watch that. In fact, no joke, I was planning on watching it like right when it came in, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to because I don't want to. My brain only can hold so much like what I've watched recently, and I don't want any of the Shin Ultraman stuff to go out until we go fall out. Review.
I get it. That makes sense.
But yeah, so I've watched a couple things. But
there's some good stuff though. I've not watched any kaiju, any new kaiju stuff anyway in the last couple of weeks, other than Shin Ultraman. It's just the same, just Godzilla versus Biollante over and over. But
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hit some news then. You got a little bit of. I know you got some slides over there.
I do have some slides, but the first thing I don't have a slide for.
Okay.
I think it's our biggest news of the. I want to say of the week, but of the last 3 weeks
of the year.
Of the year, it is. It is. So all of us Godzilla fans of a certain age. There's there's the people that love. The Heisei, the Showa, there's different types of Godzilla fans that love the storylines, that only care about the special effects, that love the music. And then there's this like subgenre or subsection of a subsection of a subgenre of a subgroup of an underground cult of people that all they love is the monster Bagan or Bagan or Bagan, however you say it. I've always said it Bagan. And he was supposed to be the monster in Godzilla 1984, and that didn't happen. And then they were going to bring him back. And it looked totally different, and then obviously the one that we all, I think, grew up on knowing, like when, the internet happened and we started hearing all this stuff was, it was supposed to be the follow-up to Godzilla versus Biollante was Mothra versus Bagan. And obviously the box office wasn't there for it, and they didn't think Mothra could carry something if Godzilla versus Biollante couldn't. And all that. And then, of course, you have finally in game form. And then they also were in that one CD-ROM game, the Toho Studio Tour game.
Super Godzilla.
Yeah, it was in Super Godzilla.
That's how I remember. I remember as a kid playing Super Godzilla and being like playing the game. And first of all, there's other Toho creatures in that game that aren't Godzilla related, or aren't in Godzilla films. And I remember playing it as a kid being like, who the fuck is the squid in here? Because Gezura's in it. And then
and Gezura's in the original NES game too, the Monster of Monsters.
Maybe I was thinking of that one. I don't know. But I remember being like, who the fuck? Why is this guy he's like the big
main guy
of Super Godzilla? And I remember being like, who is this? They made this guy up. Like we got all King Ghidorah and everybody else is you already defeated them, and then you got this guy. And I always thought it was so weird.
Yeah. And then I know, like, I remember that. And then I remember seeing the images of the Toho movie studio tour CD-ROM where they had him in a different look similar, but kind of in a different vibe. And of course, people just love him. They're like, when are we getting this? When are we getting this? Like, how can you make movies and not have him? Well, finally, though, in a little bit different of a manner, I would think, than a lot of people hope for, we are finally getting Mothra versus Bagan in kind of the Gojiban puppet variety.
Hey, that's how I prefer they do everything from now on.
You're not getting any arguments from me. But I know that and I might be a little off on this. I'm going from memory. I believe there's a new DVD Blu-ray release for Gojiban in Japan, and for like a week they're doing special screenings in movie theaters, and this is like one of the special things. Yeah.
Hey, I need you to get me that Blu-ray.
I know, right? Me too. And so you in the trailer, and we can like link it in the show notes, but in the trailer for the DVD release or Blu-ray release, you see the Bagan puppet, for lack of a better term. It's awesome. And so like it's finally like official, man.
Yeah. It's
and
cool.
So the tribe of Baganites will be very, very happy that it's finally out there in a officially licensed manner.
I always thought his design doesn't like do anything special for me. I've never thought just the design of that kaiju in general. I was like, whatever. But he seems a lot like something they would have put in one of the Millennium films to me.
100%. Oh my gosh, yes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. Like, I mean, he's in even like I feel at the end of say like with Destroya, and then as you get into Millennium, like it's like there's a spot there that he would have just like plopped right in, and like between that and like, you know, Godzilla, or between Destroya and like the 6 years or the 4 years to Orga and then the 5 years to Megaguirus, like there's somewhere in there that he just like plops him in there. Yeah.
You know, speaking of Gojiban, like they also kind of dropped since we've recorded last that Gigan has a whole family and that he's the middle child. And
I love that.
I love that they have been adding like kind of random little lore into the Godzilla universe. And there's been a couple random other characters that are popping up that are like, oh, that's a new character. But Gigan's whole family, and he's a middle child. He's got an older and a younger sister, and is like, it's all so great to me. I love everything so much that they're doing. Yeah, I love everything they do.
Gigan is such a middle child. But yeah, I know that people go search that image out, and it is hilarious. And it's like, yeah, makes sense. I love it.
The whole kaiju community that day was like, why does Gigan have a hot older sister? How does a Gigan look hot? It's so weird. It's like, you guys are doing this on purpose to try to confuse everybody. It's a puppet. It's a Gigan. It's for a kid's show, but for some reason, it's like it's got those hips, man. Everybody's like, "Hey, what is happening? Who designed this?"
Yeah. Oh my
Some
gosh,
freaks
so
out
funny.
there. I love it. Yeah,
it's so funny. Well, they're the best type of freaks. So anyway, so other than that, which, like I said, is huge news in the Godzilla world.
Yeah.
There's a few little bits of toy related news I wanted to share. I'm gonna throw up a couple slides here. Also, in the last 3 weeks, there's happened to be a SuperFest as well. Extra Volume 6.
Well, there's one every few days.
I know it. Between SuperFest and the SuperFest extras and Wonderfest and all the other like the Treasure Festa onlines and the Marathon Summer Sofubi Festas and all that stuff, there's always something going on, which is great, but also overwhelming. But I just wanted to touch on a few of what I thought the highlights. Overall, I thought it was a pretty weak like release. Like there's some cool stuff.
There wasn't a ton of stuff. Like
Quantity
there's cool
was down.
stuff, but not a ton. Yeah.
Agreed. So I'd throw this other. We finally got to see the Godzilla Ultima in real life, fully painted. We saw the prototype previously, and then the pre-orders have been up or closed probably by now. But they released that. And then for you, I had to throw in, is this from Revenge of the Creature, this X Plus? And I know you're a huge Creature fan.
Yeah, I do love Revenge of the Creature. And I think this is it's a model, right? Does it come as an unpainted like model? Yeah, it's a model kit.
I think it's a model kit. Yeah.
I think it does come unpainted, which is always a bummer for some people, but I think this looks great.
The artist.
I sent this right over to Hal Clay and I said, hey man, you're gonna have to pick this up because Hal Clay is a bigger Creature fan than I am. And this Ultima figure sold. Look at that thing.
Oh no, I got my pre-order in.
Beautiful.
I'm excited for it. It's going to be awesome. So I had to show these two off. The other thing, so let me go back one if you don't mind. Sorry, I skipped over this one. People that have watched this show, they've seen. Okay, I'm gonna tie it back to, for those that have never listened to Have Some YHS, the core, the mothership, whatever you want to call it, the main podcast. I feel like those listeners that started listening to you guys years ago, there was a roller coaster ride, a voyage, a journey, a quest, whatever, a whole huge story arc.
Kind of like a seventh voyage.
Yeah, like a seventh voyage of you and this saga with Linda Blair. And I felt like as a listener, you were on that ride week to week. You wanted to hear updates. You wanted to know what happened.
It was crazy, yeah.
We don't have any drama or anything like that on this side, but I feel like the Jake becoming a upper tier, top tier, upper echelon, Harryhausen, X Plus, Star Ace, collector started here. Like we remember seeing like the pure joy in your face when you revealed the Kraken, and now I think it's just snowballing.
It is,
and so I'm gonna have to. And now I'm gonna have to include it anytime we see them. And of course, they did release the fully painted the Cyclops bust, the one-horn Cyclops bust. You see the two-horn Cyclops there, and then the Trog unpainted prototype on the ride. I feel like they are just going to make it really hard for you and your finances by releasing all this badass stuff.
They already have. They're already really fucking my shit up. I have I have the Valley of Guanji. I have Guanji on payment plan right now, trying to pay him off. I think I got one more payment left on my Rhedosaurus.
Nice.
But there's too many out there. I still want the Medusa. I want the Cyclops. There's like multiple versions of all of them already. Like these are beautiful. That bust, there's no way I'm ever going to get that bust. I just don't have room for something that big. I don't know where it would go. But I like the two-horned Cyclops. I like these. I like all of these. Like these are all wants for me, but Harryhausen stuff, I'm going to have to, as hard as it is, I have to pick and choose. I can't get it. I just can't get it all. Not with this giant X Plus stuff. It's too much.
And there's just so much good stuff, and they do such a good job with it. But so I had to throw this in there. But and then I wanted to capture a few from kind of the more sofubi world side of things, that part of the toy collecting community. There's a few cool things they did. I have the up top, you'll see some Marasan stuff, and I mean, I think you have the Lucky Bag blanks on the far right, and on the left. Like, I think this was the key takeaway from Superfest, were these giant 450 series, so 14 inches tall Gigan, and they painted them like the old Bullmark blue and red that you saw if you had the original Bullmark Gigan from the early 70s. And one is glow in the dark, and one is a little bit different of a paint. Like the blues are very, very similar. But
it's the cream. It's the cream. It's like white on one, it's cream on the other.
You got it. And they're beautiful. I actually have two about a foot away from me that are on the site. These things are stunning. I really love them. I thought this was the coolest takeaway. They had previously released a blank glow in the dark. And so you knew they were going to do a painted glow in the dark something, and it delivers. So I thought that of all of them, of all the releases from Marsan, was the big winner.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
They did release a slew of more Maragacha. People love Maragacha. They're great, the little Gashapon style. But
I want the little Destroya crab.
Yeah, they have some cool ones. The final form Destroya, the crawl version, the flying version, and then the aggregate version, which is the crawl version with the big tentacles with arms sticking out, are all awesome. They're like really detailed for Maragacha. They're very cool. And then US Toys, we love US Toys here. We always talk about how great they are. And they released a few cool new ones, including some Buskas. But I really love, they did a slight variation on an older release of Geronimon, which I absolutely love. And then this Antlar and Naranga that are kind of this like, almost like weathered, like bronzy weathered look.
They look like they're made of metal. Yeah, they look metal. They're very cool.
They're very, very cool. So just some little kind of highlights for me. Nothing like game changing, and I still believe the Gigan 450s were just the big winner. So a couple other things that happened, and these are like one shot things, but I want to talk about the Shin Japan Heroes Universe Amusement World release from Bandai. We get them all together. The Shins are all together. The Evangelion, the Godzilla, the Kamen Rider, and the Ultraman. What did you think of these when they released them?
I thought it was cool. It's just it's cool to see that there's sort of like a universe type deal here, even though like Evangelion was so much earlier. That stuff came out so much. But the fact that it's all tied together, I love it. And it's just cool to see. I like these colors, like these singular colors like this. The purple and the green Kamen Rider and the purple Evangelion, they look so good. And again, they look like metal. They look like shiny. I don't know what these are made of. I'm assuming these are just vinyl figures, but they don't look like that. These all look like awards or
Yeah.
statues. These look like they should be given to somebody in a great ceremony. I love these.
And these are over 7 inches tall. They are not small.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
and they
Even
come
the
with
little
these,
stands, yeah.
yeah, and they come with these little acrylic stands with like the logos, like the SSP logo for Ultraman, sorry, the SSSP for Ultraman, the Kamen Rider logo. Very cool stuff.
Yeah.
I thought this was it was cool to finally see all of them together in one kind of set collection,
Yeah.
which was really neat. And then the last thing, Jake, is some of the cool Godzilla Store exclusives they released. Now, normally we wouldn't consider this news items because they release a lot of this stuff,
Yeah.
but there were a few kind of things that are pretty big. And I'm curious to see how some of them perform. Well, of course, the tape dispensers, we can ignore those, but that's still pretty cool.
They're cool,
Godzilla tape dispenser.
So wait, these jackets are going to be in the are these now? Is this only going to be like? Is this going to be like the fucking Singular Point jacket that we couldn't get, or is this going to be like?
Oh, we can get these. They just cost some money.
Yeah. What do these jackets cost? $600, $700.
I don't think they're that much. I want to say I saw one of the King Ghidorah ones in the Godzilla store pop up here in the one in Carrollton. I think it was like 400. I think around that.
That's still too much for a jacket. I want that. I want that Godzilla though. That figure. What is that?
It's a Godzilla 84, and then they have the Super X from Godzilla 84 is the other variant. They have the two versions there. Yeah. So very cool stuff. And this company's released a ton. You've had the Space Godzilla Moth. There's been lots of them, but these are going to be the newest ones. So kind of repping 84 here. The other big news, which I'm very curious how this does. I think of all the news items, I'm curious to see what happens. So Bandai is doing in kind of their smaller scale, a Yuji Sakai kind of like collection, group of kind of that X plus quality sculpt type thing, but in Bandai form, with Yuji Sakai's name plastered all over it. So I'm very curious how this kind of mid-level Bandai does, like kind of competing against premium Bandai or SH Monster Arts or whatever. I think it's going to be a slightly lower price point. I'm not for sure on that, but is there room for another one of these? I mean, I guess they did the market research, but like, I was very shocked to hear another kind of smaller scale, highly detailed sculpt line coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. Like, it looks amazing. What would we say smaller scale? What are we saying? Is this like a 6-inch figure?
I want to say, I thought it was 8, but I will, let me confirm that. But I mean, also the other thing is, like, of course they're going to lead with another, Heisei Godzilla.
Well, of course, because it's, I mean, like, I would have a whole room of Heisei Godzilla if I could.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. Like, I saw this going around and I was just like, I don't know what that is, but I want it. Like, I do wonder though as well, like, how many of these are we going to get? But it's like, whatever. That's what sofubi is. It's putting out the same thing over and over. Who cares? Like,
so it is 6 inches at 6-inch scale.
6
This one is like 6 inches tall ish and about 12 inches, about a foot long. And it will retail for like US, like, I'm trying to do my quick math here, like $100.
Well, it's killer. It's probably like a pass for me just because I've gotten to the point where if I'm going to buy something like this, I want it to be as big. I want it to be like X plus or something big, but I love it. This is I think this is probably a good option. I mean, it looks better than the regular Bandai stuff. And that's,
it better be 5 times better. And just so you know, I looked on here, the jacket does retail for about 52,000 yen. So about $450 or so for the jacket. And then, of course, not the item per se, because they're buttons and keychains and phone covers, but the official 50th anniversary Jet and Megalon kind of logos, which they did great for Hedorah, and the one for Gigan is so awesome. I thought they did wonderful stuff here with these two cats.
I love them. Yeah, they're both perfectly designed. There's nothing else you can say. They're both. I want to get T-shirts with both of these on them.
And I'm sure you'll have the ability to
they'll be on the site. Yeah, they'll be on. You can get them on Amazon probably right now, I bet.
Yeah. But that's it. That's it from a news standpoint. I just, like I said, a couple of smaller things, and then of course the Bagan news really trumped all.
Yeah. Some exciting stuff, but not as exciting as what we're about to talk about, and that's toys.
Toys.
You got a lot of stuff.
Oh man, Jake. I want to say on maybe this is my biggest quantity week of pickups ever. I know. I can some of these can kind of be clustered together.
It's okay.
But yeah, I'll start with a couple things. First, and I know you got some of these as well, so we can maybe do them together.
Sure.
From Mondo. Some of the Mondo things came in. Or actually, you already received yours.
I didn't even grab those because I forgot we haven't showed those off on this show, have we?
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna no, they're right here. I'll grab them.
Okay, awesome.
We don't have all the same ones, do we?
No, I don't think we have any of the same ones because what you'll find out.
I fucking forgot. It's been so long since we've done this show. They're right here. I don't have to go far.
When also
I didn't even grab them off my shelf. I was like, what the fuck?
Yes, and I ended up I got more than I'm going to show because I ended up getting rid of one of them. It didn't speak to me as much as I wanted to. But
right. Well,
so let's do that. Let's do the Biollante roadshow here.
Okay.
Oh, did you forget another Biollante?
No, that's what I got. No.
Okay. So I originally got two. One of them that I passed on. That I looked at, I was like, I just don't love this as much, is the Cherry Blossom, the pink glow in the dark one, or glow in the dark. And so I passed on that one, but the one I got and I did fall in love with, and I'm not selling. I did get the Midnight Bloom, the metallic blue and purple one. Absolutely love this. The sculpt is great.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the reason I didn't fall in love with the Cherry Blossom, because I have a lot of pink sofubi items, is I didn't get to enjoy the sculpt as much. Like this one, I think I can see the sculpt a little bit better. The detail is great. The paint job is great. Love the colors. So I'm very, very happy with the Midnight Bloom from Mondo.
Whenever these were all unveiled, the Midnight Blue was my favorite, and I missed it. I was working, and by the time I thought about it, it was sold out, and I was like bummed out about it. But I think I got a better one. So
okay. Yes. Yeah. The one that you got, I'm the same way. It's like, I felt the one that you got that I missed out on might be the best one.
Is that that's the only one you got?
I got one more. Well, yeah, the only Biollante I got. I did get one more.
Well, I'll do these Biollantes, and you can go back to. All right. So I do have the Cherry Blossom.
Yeah.
And this is the one I ordered. I don't even remember. I ordered it or I bought it.
Did you get that at San Diego Comic-Con, or was that just the Jet?
I got the Jet at San Diego Comic-Con. This came in the same day as the other one. Like these two came in at the same time. I think maybe I saw this at San Diego Comic-Con, and that's what prompted me to go ahead and buy it, because they were available like that weekend. Yeah. You could get online and order it that weekend. So I think that's
and you got the Jet. You had to put them together.
Well, I bought the Jet there in person, and then I think I left the convention, went to the hotel, and ordered this. So
nice.
But yeah, like you said, I like this. It's not my favorite. I got it out of I bought it just out of the excitement of being at Comic-Con. And I'm glad I got it because it's a beautiful sculpt. The boxes, I'm glad I got 2 boxes because we don't have a box to show off, but the boxes fit together. And our good friend, Tom Whalen did the art. It's the same art on the poster. And I have the 2 boxes displayed where you can
that's
make
so cool.
photos. So
that was a nice surprise. I didn't know he was doing the box art for that. And when it came,
he didn't post about it until they came out. I saw him made a post and he was like, "Hey, cat's out of the bag," and I was like, "It makes me want 4 of them because they put 4 in a row."
I know.
But yeah, I got this one. And then the other. So what's weird is I knew this was coming in. I was checking my tracking. It showed up, but when it showed up, there were 2 boxes, and the boxes on the shipping box tells you what it is. It said Cherry Blossom Biollante Mondo. And I'm looking at the other box and I'm like, why do I have 2 Biollantes? I'm like, I didn't order 2. Yeah. And I was like, did they fuck up and send me 2? and then I said, here's what the 2 options are. Either they fucked up and sent me 2. Yeah. Or I ordered 2 and just don't remember. And then I was talking to Jess about it. And I was like, those are the only 2 options. And she goes, or the third option is I bought you one for Christmas. And I was like, oh, You bought me one for Christmas. And,
Just for the win.
And the one that she bought for Christmas is the Designer Con exclusive.
Yep.
I think the best one out of
The
all
best
of them.
one. It is.
The glitter
Yeah,
green.
the
Look
glitter
at
green.
this thing. I'm happy with this. Is amazing. It's like semi-translucent glitter green Biolante. This is the best one. I love it. I'm so happy to have, you know, 2 of these things. I don't unless they surprise unveil like a really fancy one. I'm done with it. I'm not gonna. I don't need. They're very big, and I love
huge.
that. But they look very. I have the way I have these displayed. I have these 2 displayed beside each other, and then the sofubi Audrey 2 right beside it. So they look great. But yeah, this thing's amazing.
One, I love that one because it's kind of in the Biolante family of colors. Like it's green, like you'd expect it to be, but it's done where it's obviously stylized. It has some like pizzazz to it, but you don't ruin the sculpt. Like you can definitely see how wonderful the sculpt is.
I mean, you can see it better in this than you can in Cherry
Exactly.
Blossom.
Yeah.
And my original thing was, you know what? I'm going to get the regular Jet Jaguar, the one that's just painted like the movie. And my plan was to get the regular Biolante. And now that I've seen all of them, I'm like, the regular Biolante is the worst one. I think out of all of them, I think the regular, just the plain green Biolante, I think it's the worst looking one. And I don't know what it is, but this thing, these are both beautiful, but this is like...
Yeah, it's the next level. It's good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm happy with this.
That one like kind of restores my faith in Mondo as a viable like sofubi producer.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we haven't seen the Space Godzillas. Well, you've seen them in person,
I
have. But we haven't seen them out in the hands of collectors yet. I'm very
that fucking thing. You're gonna shit your pants when you get one of those. That's amazing. I'm excited. And then the Rodan that they unveiled was really cool too. So I'm excited. But that Biolante that you had and the Midnight Bloom to a lesser degree. Yeah, Midnight Blue. I think Midnight Blue's number 2.
Yeah. So the other thing I got from Mondo, you mentioned Designer Con. This was on remember we did the episode, our top 10 things we saw at Designer Con. And this was on that list for me. And it was from Mondo. It is their Godzilla 84, the Heat Ray variant. I was going to get this guy. And this is the one that's the blue translucent vinyl with the cellophane in it. So it has that Aurora effect for you Bullmark fans out there. Absolutely adore this guy. I thought the Umi variant from last year's Designer Con was going to be my number 1. Like that's the only 84 I need. I saw this guy. A few of our friends, I think Christine Chapin posted some pictures. I forgot who else. And they did this wonderful job of making me go, I need that. So I was able to get this guy and not have to pay secondhand prices. And I love it.
Good.
And it was absolutely wonderful.
It's beautiful. That color.
Yeah. The next thing I got, now I was super excited for this one. This was when we were going to podcast on a regular scheduled time, this was going to be the main event for me because I got it. And of course, some other things popped in since then. Our good friends at Marasan, I've had the fortune of being able to move a lot of their 450 Mechagodzilla 2s, the 75 Mechagodzilla, I should say, with the removable head, right? The big 13-inch tall one. And they've had like the clear glitter, the dark glitter, but then they released the clear with the insides that are visible and you see kind of the mechanics of it. So I got one of those guys, took his head off already, but absolutely adore this guy. See if I can share those insides. So you see all the mechanics in there, all the nuts and bolts and everything. It's so well done.
That's a bigger toy than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's very big. It's like 13 inches tall, 13 inches tall. It's in their 450 line. It is absolutely rad. It's awesome. I love it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. In fact, I got rid of my other 450 Mechagodzillas when I got this guy. So, and I'm going to take this guy off. So I just love the little on his head. You pop it out because it's soft vinyl. But look at the little brain paint, the wires and stuff. It's so cool. They did such a great job. But I picked this bad boy up and I absolutely adore him.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so the next thing. So for New Year's Eve, I was out in Phoenix. I'm a big college football fan, and my alma mater was out there playing in the national semifinals, and it was really awesome. And then we won, so we went to the national title the next week in Los Angeles. And as we know, there's a very, 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 very popular, cool, rad, totally gnarly sofubi shop out there called Monster Patrol Toys. You've been out there recently,
Yeah.
I think, on either for Star Wars Celebration or one of those.
Yeah, I think so.
And so I was able to stop by for a day and pick up a few things. Actually, I bought one thing there, and then one of the in Little Tokyo there, one of the other kind of Kaiju Tokusatsu shops. I picked up something as well.
Was the other shop the one that had the? Oh man, was it kind of like it was like levels?
Yep, you go down
like under. Did it have in the window? Did it have the gargantuas in the window, like really big, like almost like human-sized busts? No, because I wonder if it's the same place.
Probably is. This one was oh my gosh, it's Hobby Toy Jungle.
I think it's the same place.
It's like one side of it. Yeah, one side of it is like almost exclusively like model kits and like Gundam and Tokusatsu stuff, and then it's like in the back wall there's some sofubi stuff, and anyway,
that's the place.
So that one I went to second, and I think that one you'll get a kick out of what I picked up there. But the first one, Monster Patrol Toys, great. You got to go in and get your picture with Hedera and all that good stuff.
You got to.
I love their setup. It's very fun. A great curated kind of mix of toys from Bandai all the way up to like designer toys.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a Marasan thing I've been eyeing anyway, and they had it there for a really good price. And it was something they released that was done by sofubi designer artist, what's her name? Asaka Kubo. And I almost said Akira Kubo. I was like, no, that is an actor from the Godzilla series. If he's doing that at like 95 years old, rock and roll, man. But anyway, Asaka Kubo does a lot of cool stuff with Eiji Kamanaga and Marasan. And I got her purple glitter clear Pigmon.
Oh my God. Jay.
And absolutely love this guy. This is one of my favorite things. She does wonderful work. I mean, we know the mold and the sculpt and what Marasan can do, but her design choices and colors and stuff are so great. But this was so awesome. I know, right? Absolutely love this little monster, this pygmy monster, if you will. Very, very cool. So this was my pickup for Monster Patrol. When I came out of that, I felt very satisfied. I was like, I got a really cool piece. It's something that I don't have any. I don't have any of her stuff or Marasan Garmon. And so I was really excited. Oh, one of my pickups just did a tumble out there. Hopefully it was okay.
When I was in Monster Patrol Toys, they had a really amazing Death Kappa figure wanted so bad, and I just could not. Whenever I was there, it was a quick trip. I couldn't spend a lot of money. I also didn't have any luggage space, so the only figures I was able to buy in there were smaller. I couldn't get anything that needed special attention or. And man, they had a Death Kappa in there that I remember just being like, I want this so bad.
Yeah,
but
they had one still in there.
It might be the same one.
Yeah.
Hey, was it really expensive? Probably the same one.
I don't think I looked for the price because I got my one Death Kappa. I got my one.
You only need one. Yeah.
You only need one, right? The Cicalona Kubo I picked up from the great David Dobko.
Yep.
So we're walking back. We go down. We see that in the window. We see all the stuff, and then we go in. I'm like, I'm just gonna take a look here, see if they have anything that's like I don't even say like a good deal, just something like I haven't been able to pick up, and like I've been meaning to, and I wanted to like do it in person because like we don't get the thrill of that very much with sofubi, right? Like it's all online. There's, you can buy Godzilla stuff in Target, but if you really want sofubi, like maybe at the random vintage store or maybe at some of these like comic stores,
not at Dave's.
Yeah, not at Dave's. You'll occasionally see more X Plus than you will like sofubi, but anyway. So I went in there, I looked around, and there saw him. One of our buds from the podcast. I wouldn't say he's quite Gilala level, but he's right below it. I got not the original Bull Mark. They didn't have that, but this was the B Club release. So the B Club, they did a lot of the old Bull Mark sculpts, subsidiary of Bandai. I got our boy Daigoro.
Oh man,
I got him.
Oh,
no. They did not have Daigoro's mom, but they had him.
Holy crap!
I picked him up.
Look at that dumb piece of shit. I love it. Fuck yeah, dude.
So I felt my quick trip back to my old place I used to live, LA. Even though other things weren't great there, the game. But other than that, I did pick up 2 really cool pieces of sofubi. So all good there.
Yeah.
Then the next thing, I don't know if did you want to go into any pickups real quick? Because
whatever. I mean,
do you mind? Because I'm gonna try to grab this guy on the floor that I dropped down.
Okay. So I did pick up these 2 little. Now I picked these up from you, Jay. I specifically said, Jay, I have to have these. So please order these for me. So Godziban, we were talking about it earlier, released figures 4 and 5 in the line that's out. You know, they put out Godzilla, Little, and Minya, but now they've put out the Anguirus figure.
So cool.
And now
Radon.
Yeah. So I was looking this guy up. I've watched a little bit of Godziban, and then I was like, what is the what is this? Who is this? It's not Rodan, because there is a Rodan.
Yeah.
And I was reading that it's Rodan's son, but his name, say it again. How's it pronounced?
Radon. Yeah. It's the original, like that's how Rodan it is in Japanese.
Exactly. I was reading this whole thing about how his name is the original Japanese pronunciation of Rodan.
Yeah.
But they're using Rodan for Rodan.
Yeah.
And they just named him the same thing. But I love how he's like sitting in an egg. These figures, I will buy every single Godziban toy they put out. I want this entire line. I love this stuff. So I did pick these up from you. Thank you, Jay, for sending me these.
No worries. They kind of fit within your like cute kaiju bubble of like with your Godzi and your Godzilla Land and stuff. Yeah,
I got a whole little area of the cutesy Godzilla stuff. I have a huge soft spot for cute God. My favorite versions of Godzilla are
like this guy.
Shin Godzilla, the most terrifying Godzilla, and cute Godzilla. Those are I have a range, and it's in between those.
I mean, would you not pay to see Shin Godzilla versus Daigoro? I mean, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I would. I got one more thing. I can go ahead and do it if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jay, you have this, right? You have it, but I don't think you showed it off on the show.
Okay.
I think this is the only other thing I got.
Is this your big thing?
Yeah.
No, let's do that last. That's huge. You're right. I did not show it off in the show.
Okay.
I'd already built it, and it's like above me.
Gotcha,
and as you'll see, it's gigantic.
Yeah.
And not like something you can move around very easily.
I'm gonna show it off.
Yeah, for sure. No.
All right. Well, then go ahead. Whatever.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do this a little backwards. I'm gonna show you my like main event piece, and then I'm gonna show you the rest of mine in a kind of a big collection, because I still have yet to get the one that fell down. I was too enthralled by your Gojiban stuff. I had to talk about it. Anyway, so this is one I picked up, and it's my first for 2023 off the top 10 want list.
Oh my!
I'm knocking one out
already.
Yeah,
it's not even we're not even in the second month of the year yet.
So this was one that I had seen. I've had the ability to buy this, but for double what I felt comfortable paying for it. And so I was like, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Then one of a big collector, a guy named White Gordon, who has a great collection. He was selling off some of his collection, including this piece. And he put it for a very, 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 very reasonable price. Thank you, Wyatt, for not gouging me on this one. And I didn't even like fight with him on the price. I was like, yes, I'll take it for that, please. Because I knew I would never see it again for this price. I really wouldn't. I mean, it's one that you'll see once in a blue moon anyway. I've probably seen it twice ever available to buy. And it's been, like I said, double what he charged. Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous, or almost double. And it's off the top 10 list for Marathon 2007. It's the clear Aurora or cellophane or whatever you want to call it. Veron, there he is, right off of the list. I mean,
that's such a cool, what a ridiculous toy.
I know it is.
It's beautiful, dude.
But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's
Veron.
Yeah, it's Veron. That's what makes it special, though. Is like if this was Godzilla, it would be less rare. But it's the fact that it's Veron and it's so weird, and those translucent colors look so good on those areas of his body.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, but what I like about it. So first, when you think of Veron, you don't think of the Marathon sculpt. Like, I mean, it's very rare. Like mostly the Marmot.
It's very rare that you even think of Veron, period.
Some of us. I mean, I have a couple of the Marmot Varans. That's
Yeah.
kind of the sculpt I think of when I think of the Varan that I love. This is a great sculpt. Don't get me wrong, but what's neat is like a lot of the Auroras you'll see like just translucent vinyl and they'll let the cellophane do all the talking.
Yeah.
But this is lightly sprayed and painted.
Accented.
Yeah, very well and very funky. I mean, like he has like the lime green, electric green nails. I mean,
green,
it's so cool.
Yeah, the green toes and feet, and then the pink spines are.
Yeah,
it's just like I don't know. The genius came up with that.
Yeah, and it has the green on the kind of the outer spikes or stuff, and it just pulls through those colors from the cellophane.
It makes it look like a mirage or something. You know what I mean? Like the whole toy looks otherworldly. It looks like it's coming out of Singular Point or something. It's something weird, and it doesn't make any. I have to do math to figure out why this toy exists, and I'm glad you got it.
He's gonna orthogonally diagonalize. I absolutely love this. I'm so excited, and this is one. Honestly, of the top 10 list, this was on the one kind of the side of the of the ledger that was like probably not going to happen, just because you're not going to see it, and I'm not going to spend $1,400 on it or whatever people charge for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 10. My last 10 pickups.
What?
Yes. Are 10.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. So this is a lot. So the 10 here are all the same, and you know me, guys. You know what
are they?
Yeah, I know, right? So I've now got to the number 60 on my Bio Gojis from Marasan.
So last time we talked, you said 50 was it,
50
right?
was it.
And now you're at 60.
I meant 60 because that's a
okay. Well, now you're too close to 89. Then.
I know, right? The 89.
You might if you stop now, it's like whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's only so many colors. I do have one more coming, so I definitely have 61. I paid for another one. So these were just from a myriad of SuperFest lucky bags. There was a couple Toku Hands Shibuya Store exclusives, and some other ones, and they just are random ones. There's some that are like, honestly, I'll be truthful with you. There's some that I absolutely love, and there's some that are more like, hey, like I gotta have it. I wouldn't normally pick up if it was a different sculpt. But anyway, and I noted in no particular order because I'm really just grabbing what's next to me. So there's one, and I still have one on the floor over there. So this was one of the blanks. And this looks like just a kind of a blank gray, right? Actually, there's a subtle glitter in here. So this is one that's like, I actually like this a lot more because it's one that you have to actually get up and look at it and examine it. You can't just look from afar. You got to get up close.
Guys, trust him. There's glitter in it.
There's glitter. It's very, very, very subtle. And there's actually 2 that are like this, that are blanks, solid, a single color. Oh, that might. But he's really cool. They also gave us 2 more green marbles. Now they've had green marbles before, but this is a more of an electric slime lime green. So you have the 2 variants here, the one has the more green head and the one that's the more black. So they have the black and green double cast, I should say. And then now they have these that are the marbles, a single cast marble.
Those are cool.
Very cool. Love these guys. So I picked those guys up. They had another blank green, which is a little bit different than the blank green I have. This is more kind of like a spearmint green, a winter green, a lighter green here. No glitter, subtle glitter in this one. This is just blank, but I love this guy. Then prior to, I guess this was probably, we actually showed these off in a news segment. I think maybe it was our holiday wish list episode. They released the green and blue and the red and gold glitter combos here, which these are really cool, man. This is a translucent vinyl. And it has this blue and gold glitter and then the green and gold spray. I'm sorry, blue and gold glitter, green and gold spray there. Very cool.
Like those a lot. Yeah,
and this is red and gold glitter with the gold, just a plain gold spray. I love this guy. Very, very cool. And then I'll grab, hold on one second. I'm gonna grab the one on the floor.
Dude, get them. 10. Listen, lucky number 61. I don't know. You got to have them all, dude.
Yeah, 58, right? So this is number 58, I guess. So this is a kind of muted gold blank, and it also has a subtle glitter flecks in there. It looks very, very, very cool.
I really like these ones that have the that one and the other one you just showed off, not the glitter ones, but the like those kind of muted colors look like candles to me, or they look like they're made of wax. And those, I love those. Those are great.
And then my last two, and these are my two favorite. Clear, and then Marsan's going through a real big orange clear phase here.
Yeah.
So this is orange translucent vinyl.
Give it to me.
I know, and they did Mechagodzilla in this, Titanosaurus in this. They've done a lot in this. I say a lot, but those. Oh, and they didn't do an Anguirus yet. I don't know, but anyway, really cool, really cool. And then what I think will be the hit of 2023 for Marasan. You know, last year was the year of glitter. I think it's going to be bright pink, clear vinyl.
Oh
Absolutely love this guy.
Shit.
This is one of my top 89s now. Like, I'm in my eyes, like I love
pink. Pink looks so good on sofubi.
Yeah. It does.
It's not a color that I've ever been drawn to.
Yeah.
But except for in sofubi form, it's like I want everything to be pink.
So I'm looking right now at my shelf. I have, for the Godzilla 89s, there are, let's see, that would be 6, 7, 8. There are 9 that are predominantly pink.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And it's very cool.
Enough,
I know. But this is one of my favorites.
I love it.
I got something off my top 10 list. I got something off our designer top 10 list. And I got 10 Godzilla 1989. So 10 was the magic number. Yeah.
That's insane. Dude, you know, when we do toy anxiety and stuff, people are always like, hey, how do you guys buy so many toys? They're like, they're just like, because, you know, we do pickups every week. And even if some of our pickups are a little slow, it's like we still get a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Same here. But people are always like, dude, how do you? My people at my work, my job, they're just like, how do you buy so much stuff? You order a lot of toys.
Yeah.
For someone who gets told that I buy a lot of toys, Jay, you buy a lot of toys.
Well, yes. But the one thing that makes it a little bit more palatable is, so everybody out there that buys from Toku Toy Town, it does not go to help feed my family. It does not go to any of that. I have other things for that.
Yeah.
It goes to feed the appetite of sofubi.
Yeah, 100%. I love
Sometimes.
it. You figured it out. Jay figured out how to cheat in life, and I love it. Well, I got one more thing.
Yes.
And I don't think it's as great as your Varan, or maybe it doesn't equal 10 89s, but it might be last year's figure of the year. I don't know.
It
at least
makes
on
a
the
damn
list.
good case for
It's
it.
on the list.
It makes a damn good case.
This came in today. I'll show off the box first.
Yeah.
Look at this fucking box. This came in at work, and everybody was always, anytime anything comes in at work, people are like, open that now, because they know that I buy cool stuff.
Yeah.
I opened this, and everybody at work was like, what the fuck is that?
Why is that dinosaur throwing a lobster?
X Plus Godzilla versus Ebra. This is the coolest. I got it out. I'm going to show it off.
Yeah, the Great Battle of the South Seas, man.
Oh my God. Look at this.
It's a pretty freaking amazing.
Look at this thing.
Please don't drop it.
Dude, the thing about X Plus is that if I drop this, I think it might be fine. Like, this is so...
It's more Ebra in the little antenna and stuff. That's what I'm worried about.
But like what I noticed when I opened this at work today, and I was like showing one of my coworkers, and they were like, "Oh, I bet that's like, you know." The thing about X Plus is it looks like a statue. But this is rubber. This is resin. This is plastic.
Yeah.
You know, they're light. They're easy to pick up and move around. This thing is amazing. Like this, the minute they unveiled this. Early last year, or I don't know if it was at the end of the year before. I don't remember, but I remember being like, "Hey, if a toy can make me want an Ebra figure," I feel like I say this a lot. I feel like I say this about a lot of kaiju, but certain toys will make you want something that you've never fucking cared. I like Godzilla versus Ebra. I think it's a fun, you know, maybe lower tier Godzilla movie.
And it's a great White Guess and Monster Island episode when we review it.
I love it and I enjoy it, but it's not something I would ever have been like, you know what? I'm about to spend $600 on an Ebra toy. And then I saw this and I spent $600 on an Ebra toy. This is fucking amazing.
It is.
I love this so much. This is beautiful. Everybody should own one of these.
It should. I mean, it should be like when you come of age. Like you should get that. I mean, that should be every person when they turn like 13 years old needs that statue.
You're right. It's beautiful. It's got like a little sign. It's got a base. It's like you're buying 2X plus figures for basically. And I was worried about the stand. Like when I saw the picture of this, I was like, "Oh,
that's not working.
That looks like a mess." Eberus is fine without the stand. You cannot put the stand here, and he's still he's so light. They put so much weight into this part of it, and his claw goes so deep into his body that this is just like a precaution. He still holds up perfectly fine without the base. And then this goes all the way down to the bottom. It's not going anywhere. It's also, I thought it was a clear acrylic. It's metal. This is sturdy. This is fucking, it's not going anywhere. This is a good piece.
Yeah, I mean that's the piece. Like I was worried as well for the same thing because you look at it, the pose, X Plus is going to do a great job on the sculpt. Everything about it was like this could be amazing. This would be figure of the year. The worry was that it was going to lose it because it was going to have functionality issues. And not the case. Not at all. I haven't even thought about that since I got it. I was just like, I'm just gonna. I mean, it is truly in the center spot, like right above here. Like the first thing when you walk into the monster room here. It's literally the first thing that you'll see. It's under a Tom Whalen print, actually, of Ultraman, because those go together. But anyway, it's when
I brought it home, the first thing I did is I started saying like, this thing has got to go in a good spot. It's
you don't hide that one behind some Playmates or anything.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It is cool. It is. I mean, we'll find out in the Jeffries, but like it is definitely has a case to be made.
It does for sure.
Kaiju Toy of the Year.
That's the toy pickups. We did it. There was a lot this week. And speaking of the Jeffries, just for anybody who maybe hadn't heard us talk about that before, the Jeffries is YHS podcast, our kind of mothership, flagship toy anxiety show. Does a toy award show every year, and it's going to be out mid to late February. We're going to be doing some filming for it this weekend. And even though it is predominantly like, American, Marvel Legends, Hasbro, NECA, it's predominantly that stuff. There will be a kaiju segment with me and Jay. And we're going to decide, the two of us are going to take the weight of the kaiju world on our shoulders. And we are going to decide, a kaiju figure of the year. And you might agree with us and you might not. It's okay. But either way, we promise it will be a good pick.
Yeah. Last year we did just the kaiju toy line of the year, and it went to Marathon 350 series. One over.
I mean, we're going to do that too. I figure we'll do toy line and maybe we'll do figure. We'll keep it kind of compact, but we could do. I think last year we were like, all right, we're going to keep it to toy line, but let's talk about 10 other toys. Just to make sure we can let everybody know that there was a lot of good stuff. So we'll do the same thing.
It'll be a fun conversation. And there'll be some really cool stuff. Do you go X plus realistic? Do you go sofubi? Do you go
it's gonna be
accessibility? Hard. There's a lot of cool things.
Yeah. I think that's it on the toys. I guess we're an hour in. We better talk about Shin Ultraman.
Yeah. I'm excited. They got me warmed up.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
I was good. I will say this again. My Ultraman expertise is not huge.
Yeah.
I am sort of, I've watched episodes of Ultraman here and there throughout my lifetime, but it wasn't until really meeting you that I kind of dug into it a little deeper. Like I said earlier, I own a bunch of it. There's just so much of it. I've never gone through all of it. I don't know if I ever will make it through all of it, but it's been a while since I've seen a lot of the Ultraman episodes. So I might not be as well versed as some of the like Easter eggs and stuff like that. Some of that maybe flew over my head, but overall, I just want to say that I had a great time watching this movie, dude. I thought it was great. I don't want to bury the lead. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought I wasn't expecting it to be as funny as it was. I thought it was very funny.
Very funny.
It was cool to see new versions of all these kaiju.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
What was your overall
Well, first off, I think you probably don't give yourself enough credit on your knowledge, but also I'm no expert.
I know more than all the normal people I know, but I'm just saying, like, when we're doing a kaiju podcast, I worry that some of the people listening to this are like, why is this guy talking like he knows more about Ultraman than me? You might know more about Ultraman than I do, but I got a podcast.
We're the same. We're in the same realm. Yeah, I know, right? And I would say that, and I think our listeners know this. Like when we do our movie reviews and stuff, like if you're looking for like who the key grip was or what, you know what, probably not the right review podcast to listen to. Yeah, we really try to keep it as like two people that have a working knowledge of the genre. Go in there and watch it, and what are your thoughts? So, and I think this is one that we can definitely keep at that level. But yeah, I'm curious. When we both got out of it around the same time, I think you might have been out a little bit earlier because of time zones and whatnot. Because we both saw the subtitled version.
Yes.
You sent me like, "Hey, that was super fun." I had 2 complaints. I think it was maybe it was 2, and I was like, "Yeah, super fun. Can't wait to hear about them." We haven't talked about it since, so I never told you what my 2 nitpicks are. I'm thinking about it right now, and I don't even know if I remember what both of them are. I know what one of them is. I've been waiting for all this, but anyway.
Oh no, I know what it is.
Okay, to answer your question, and I know we'll dive deeper into some of this, but I think it was super fun. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was what it was, and they did that very well.
Yeah.
I also was caught off guard. I just didn't know, like, going in, like I stayed pretty darn clean. Like I didn't watch any spoilers. I didn't read any reviews, even from people I know that I trust their opinion, because I didn't want to get in there. So I went in pretty clean, pretty blind to it. And I just thought like the overall, how it was structured and like what it was just different than what I thought it was going to be. And that's a positive. That's not a knock on it. But that was my overall fun, I think, is the fun and enthusiastic, energetic. Those are words that I would use to describe it. But I have to hear, before we talk about anything, I have to hear what these 2 nitpicks are. Been waiting for 2 weeks.
I wanted more kaiju. I wanted more. My nitpick was like, I love that they start off with kaiju stuff.
Yeah.
And I did like the inclusion of the alien races, both kind of trying to get into the minds of the humans and fuck around with it. I did enjoy all that.
Yeah.
But I would rather watch Ultraman fight kaiju than the aliens. It's always, I'm always more of a, even though the aliens are still weird looking and shit.
Yeah.
To me, kaiju's above aliens. I want to see him fight kaiju. So I was a little bummed that he fights 2 kaiju, and then it's like, oh, kaiju are done. There's no more kaiju in this kind of.
Yeah.
And then also I didn't think he does that much fighting in it. I didn't think, it wasn't that I thought he didn't have enough screen time.
Yeah.
There's plenty of Ultraman in this.
A lot of standing.
But I found that he just stands around a lot of the time.
And I was like,
all the fights were kind of short.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Ultraman just looks ominous a lot. He doesn't do as much. I was like expecting like some fucking, throw down. And then there was a little bit of it, but
pro wrestling, photo wrestling.
I thought there was going to be more. The final battle wasn't much of a battle. No. It was just kind of a.
That's actually one of my nitpicks, but
it was more of a just like, I thought the Zeton redesign was cool.
Yeah.
But then it's like, it's cool, but is it weird that Zeton is a tool of the Ultraman in this instead of being, he still was, the villain of the piece, but he's a tool of the Ultraman race. It's like, I don't know. I don't want to get too far into that kind of thing because I still enjoyed the fuck out of it. It's just.
Well, I think that's a big part. Honestly, I think that's a big part of the Zeton stuff. But before that, like, I will say on the Kaiju, so I agree with you. Like, if you look at Ultraman 66, if you look at kind of, yes, you have Alien Baltan and you have Dada, but like, hey, guess what? They weren't in this. And you have Mephiles, who is my favorite of all of them. And you have Zara, who those 2 obviously were featured heavily in here. But I still love, give me Red King and Gomorrah and Pigmon. And I love, and Naranga was great. And I thought that was really cool. Love that. The weird, and Gabara, Gabora, the thing that I thought was cool though, that gave them a pass on the kaiju is, we always love like you have Ultraman and then Ultra 7 and all the other Ultras, but before you still have Ultra Q. But it's like it's this weird because it's like it is part of the series, the continuity, the lore, but there's no hero, right? There's no henshin hero, there's no Ultraman in it. And it's just defeated by the people, whatever. I loved how they brought back Ultra Q Kaiju. And
as the prologue to the movie.
As a prologue to the movie. Yeah. I thought that was so great. I thought
I
was like they could have used a more recognizable kaiju, but they went and they did, was it Pagos and we got to talk about Shin Gomez. Shin Gomez. Just using Shin Godzilla and making it just like they did.
I loved it.
So the two things. So that, like how they used the Ultra Q Kaiju gave, it took some of the sting out of it.
The Gomez thing, the movie starts off with a joke where they show the title for Shin Godzilla. And then that goes away, and then it's Shin Ultraman. And then the first thing you see is Gomez. And then he's like, he's looking all scary, and he's like, he looks fucking terrifying. And then it's a jump cut to him dead. I thought it was. I was like, what a perfect way to start.
It's so funny, and like little things like that, I thought were done really well. The other thing I liked about the kaiju that once again took the sting out of it, maybe not being as kaiju centric as we wanted, our own personal headcanon. Was I loved how part of the plot and kind of the story was that like they all look like the same kaiju with just different things because they all use the Bagan suit.
And they made a joke about it. They made a joke about it.
And Gabora and Naranga, they're all the same suit.
They're the same
and they're like,
thing.
oh, it's slightly different. Love that. I'm like, that is one of those, like, automatically they absolutely adore the source material, that they are funny. They can be tongue in cheek. They don't take themselves seriously. And yet they turned it in a way that like, it all kind of like it fit in the story, right? It's like, okay, like they're coming from a similar place. There's an evolution there. There's some connectivity between these kaiju. So I thought that. So overall, I thought those two positives outweighed the negative of why didn't I get to see Red King or whatever. And that's another thing. It's like, I think overall, if you talk about the most famous kaiju or Seijin in Ultraman, you don't see any of them. They really take kind of the next tier and focus on them because you don't see Baltan, you don't see Dada, you don't see Red King, Pigmon, or Gomora. Those are kind of the five I think of, and they do play with Mephiles and Zarab and Naranga, which all awesome.
Yeah,
but probably tier B in that series,
right?
Which I thought was fun. So once again, I gave them a little bit of a pass because they were really focusing on that, and they didn't go. And then Zeton, of course, but that's a nitpick. It's a whole
other thing. Yeah, well, it's like my nitpicks about wanting more kaiju or whatever. It's like those are nitpicks because it's not like I came out of it and I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
it would have been so much better if it was more. It's still full of weird, awesome stuff. One of the things I was expecting going into a movie made by the guy who made Shin Godzilla, and Evangelion, is that I was expecting whenever they first released that first image of Ultraman just standing across the bay, I remember being like, okay, this is creepy looking, but it still basically looks like Ultraman. The only thing they changed on Ultraman is we got rid of his timer, and his body isn't human shaped anymore. It's a little more exaggerated. His arms are a little more long, more alien like.
Yeah.
But I was expecting that I was like, so are we going to go in? Are we going to see a Shin Ultraman movie where Ultraman still looks kind of silly?
Yeah.
And then are we going to get super weird, scary kaiju like Shin Godzilla? That's what I kind of thought we were going to get. Wasn't that at all?
No. It was definitely more Ultraman-y.
It was definitely, but I thought all of the redesigns were cool looking. None of them were like super out of nowhere. Zeton's a little weird as far as his look, but he still looks like Zeton. He's still identifiable. And I think the image of just having him floating in the sky for days, that's like a very Evangelion thing to do. And there's that short film that I forget what it's called, but there was a short film that this director made before Shin Godzilla, which is like a giant monster appears in the sky, floats in the sky for a while, and then destroys everything. And it reminded me of the short film too, because it's just like it in the sky floating watching over the Earth. But yeah, dude, I thought all that stuff was cool. I thought it was really fun. I was not expecting the movie to be funny. It was funny. I thought the aliens looked the redesigns of the alien who, forgive me, I don't know the two alien. I get their names mixed up, but the one where it's like concave looking.
Oh yeah, the Zarab. Yeah,
it looks so cool. I thought all that stuff looked so cool. Yeah. I thought it was great, dude. I don't have much to say about it because it was very fun. I would watch this again. There was nothing that I disliked enough that I would not. I did see, after seeing the movie, I saw some complaints from people who didn't like that the Ultraman race would would be like, fuck it, we're gonna destroy Earth. And I'm like, I don't know, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So that was one of my big questions. Like kind of just overall to us, to anybody is, I heard that a lot. And it's like, you think of like from the source material, obviously they're the land of light. Everybody's good. Yeah. It's always going to fight for no matter what. And they're more kind of a practical, neutral type place. It's like, no, like we have nothing against, we're not mad at Earth, but like, you're now becoming a disease because Mephiles has basically told all the alien races that we can breed you as giant battle machines, and so you are potentially something that could disrupt the universe, so we have to eradicate you. Very practical, very pragmatic. It's not, there's no evil. It's like, we're destroying this one to save millions of worlds type thing, whereas like in the original source material that would never happen. It's like, we're gonna fight because nobody will die. And so I think I get, like, I also love the change. I don't ever try to go in any of these shows saying it has to be like this. It has, these remakes or reimaginings. It has to be like this. Like, I love that they did something different. This one I thought added a really cool element. It made the Ultramen are kind of one-dimensional and not a bad way. Just like, they're good, right? Yeah. For most of them, but this made it a little bit more like they're not all good. They're very practical and pragmatic. But Ultraman he bucks the trend, and he becomes more human.
It makes him more special.
Agreed. Thank you. You nailed it. Like that, I actually thought overall, like, I was very happy with that, and I think it made Kamanaga and Ultraman 1 the more important. So I like that. Now, the part I didn't like is them using Zeton, not because they shouldn't have a big ultimate weapon. I just am this is a personal opinion.
It feels like it goes against everything because Zeton's always the big bad.
He feels like Ultraman.
It feels like it goes against everything it's like, hold on, why are the Ultramen the controllers of Zeton? Like,
it's just like, I wanted him to be like a,
he also doesn't do shit but float in the sky.
And he's so cool in the original, and he is a weapon of the Zetonian race. I get that. Yeah. But it's just,
I keep calling them Ultraman. I know that's not what they're called. I know it's just Ultraman and it's a race, but
Ultraman.
I'm gonna keep calling them the Ultraman.
Yeah.
Hey, the gold Ultraman. What is his name? The gold one?
Zaffi.
Zaffi. I loved him. Yeah. I loved the way that looks. When Ultraman's color drains out, when his energy is going down, and he turns into that other
another upgrade from the color timer to
loved that. I loved it, and I want figures of the 3 different color. The 2 Ultraman and then Zoff. I love that conversation that they have. Like, they have Ultraman and Zaffi have a conversation, and it's the conversation where before where Ultraman's like, no, I'm gonna do my best with these guys. And he kind of talks him. That kind of shit I love. I love when they put that kind of stuff in movies, especially when it's like, for Ultraman, you're used to just watching 2 dudes in suits beat the crap out of each other, and that's the end of the episode. Yeah. But then they were like, no, we're going to put like a nice philosophical conversation in the middle of it. And I like that.
Well, yeah. And that's, not too different. Like in the show, their conversation is just kind of more one note. It's like, I'm going to help him out. Okay. It's like, there's going to be a sacrifice made, but it's not as like, you don't have as much resistance from Zaffi. Right. So I thought that from like a thematic standpoint, there was 2 things that really caught me, not off guard, but it hit me in a really good way. Is like, I felt like they did honor what I think the overall theme of Ultraman 66 is like, hey, like optimism towards the human race. Like, we're going to get it all together. I mean, Ultraman can't beat Zeton, the humans, the SSSP beat him. That is kind of the proverbial passing of the torch. Like, you guys have evolved enough to take care of your own planet. I believe in the positivity and the optimism, and I believe in the trajectory of the human race. That's 66. This one, very similar, like, except it's just more like Ultraman himself saying, I believe in the goodness of the human race. I think they can do it. I believe in them. And this like very optimistic view of humankind, despite everything else going to say otherwise. I thought it was the same way, just done a little notch up. Like, I think they just ticked it up to 11. So I thought that was really cool. And the other thing that I got like very, very Shin Godzilla vibes is, yes, you have the Shin Godzilla storyline, but you also have kind of the not so subtle commentary on like Japanese political bureaucracy and they can't get anything approved. I thought this was like one step further. Like, instead of just this slog that is the Japanese government, it's like political ineptitude and just how like politicians can be easily swindled by, Zarub and then Mephiles and like just totally played. And I thought it was a commentary on Japanese and international politics and everything. And that was kind of the underlying theme. And it was so funny. Like, just, I mean, Mephiles and it's one of my favorite sayings.
He was great.
He was great. And he's one of my favorite episodes in the original. And he's one of my favorite characters because, and they do a good job with him here. He isn't like, I want to kill the humans because I want to take, in the original, like, he's kind of a bored, think of him like a bored rich kid, right? He's the bored dude. Like, he just wants to control the human race because it's a challenge and he wants to. And it's like here, it's like, he created the kaiju. It started that in motion. He manipulated Zarub to come down. Like, he's this guy. And like, and at the end of the day, like, if it becomes too much and it's too much of a risk, he's like, peace, I'm out of here. It's like Ultraman came. He's like, whatever. And I love that about him. I think he's just, he's the most like real bad guy.
He's like it's like Q from Star Trek. He's just there to fuck with people.
Yeah. And it's
I
like,
loved it.
And so I thought he was good as the main bad. But I just feel like there was so much stuff that they honored the 66 show, but I felt like they ratcheted it up enough a little bit more, and it was great. And so I mean, even like, there were so many nods to that show from like, giant Fuji becomes giant Asami. Like, so many good things like that just warmed my heart, and that fan service, whatever term you want to use. But overall, thematically, I think it was a true modern way and more, I think, impactful way to honor 66. And I think they did a great job.
I agree. And I mean, 100%, I agree with all of that. And, even though I didn't say much about it, the human cast, everybody, all the actors were really great in it. They were all likable and funny. And it was really cool to see this in a theater. Now, there wasn't a ton of people in the theater, but there were enough people. I was like listening to people, and you could tell people were catching the Easter eggs. People were laughing out loud at the right moments. I heard conversation as soon as the movie was over. I heard conversations where people were like, "Oh, this was this, and they did that. I can't believe that." And I'm like, I just felt good. That just felt good. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have one question about curious what your thoughts were. Do you think it was hindered by kind of CGI versus like if they went old school Tokusatsu and then like rubber suit? To me, look, I love old school and practical, and I love the charm of it. But I think like if it needs to be in the same universe as Shin Godzilla and everything else, like I was totally fine with how. Yeah,
I'm fine with it. So my thing was like the CGI in Shin Godzilla I thought was better.
Oh, agreed.
And there were times where I was like, I wish this CGI was a little bit better. But it did not. I'm watching an Ultraman movie. It's kind of got that silliness to it anyway. One thing that I'll tell you that I loved so much was anytime Ultraman was flying, it looked straight out of the old. Like, it reminded me
like
of
a toy on a string.
Yep. It looked like a toy on a string. He was static, and he would kind of shake, and there was just a little... And I love that image so much. And it reminded me of any time you see like Gigan flying or Megalon, any of them. They did such a perfect job at replicating that look that anytime he was flying, I was like, I was like, I don't care what is happening in the world. This is a beautiful image.
I agree.
So the CGI, I mean, listen, I always want man in suit. I was bummed out when they cut out the man in suit stuff from Shin Godzilla. I don't know why they cut that out because I thought it looked good. Whenever the behind the scenes stuff of the man in the suit, that I thought it all looked really good. I wish they used a little bit of it. Yeah. But the CGI did not bother me at all. It doesn't. Yeah. I'm not the kind of person who's like, it's Ultraman, it should always be no. It was fine. You can make them do things that you can't make them do. I think they did a good job at replicating what they were going for.
Yeah, and to your point, Shin Godzilla should have better CGI. It's like Godzilla movies; you expect to have better special effects than Ultraman because of budgets and everything. So if it would have been better, I've been thrown off. And the last thing that I noted, and this isn't like a specific Easter egg. It's more like, I think a lot of people have noticed this, but it was one thing in the theater. I was like, oh my gosh, like total flashback to 66 that I thought was really cool was, like a lot of the episodes that were directed by Akio Jisoji were like the weird camera angles, right? Like the more atmospheric or whatever term you want to use. We're like, like it's behind something or it's like a shoot up an angle or a tunnel. I thought that they did a few of those shots in there, especially like in the scenes in the offices and stuff. I thought were great, and I don't know if it was done on purpose or not, but I'm hoping it was because
it must have been, right?
I felt that was like a direct nod to the greatest Ultraman director of all time.
Yeah, and it must have been.
It was so cool. And then the last thing I'll say about the overall thing, my big takeaway was I said like didn't know what to expect, and it kind of caught me off guard. I mean, to me, it was like all these 30-minute episodes that we saw before jammed together.
Right. It was like watching a season of the show.
It's like binging a season of the show in movie form. And it just blew my mind. I was like, this is amazing.
You go in thinking maybe it's just going to be Ultraman. Like if there was at one point I was like, oh, I wonder which one monster he's going to be fighting.
Yeah.
It's like you think it's just going to be him versus one creature, but it's like, oh no, this is just him.
Yeah. I saw the Naranga stuff from the trailers and stuff. And I thought, okay, I go, maybe he's like the early, like they discover something's going on. But I just assumed the big bad would be one of the aliens, like Bolton or Dada or whatever.
Yeah.
And they gave us a lot more, though could always use more kaiju. But it was what a great fun thing. I hope that Shin Kamen Rider is just as fun and exciting.
Yeah, and listen, hey, Kamen Rider, I don't know fucking shit about Kamen Rider.
The first two episodes.
I know the first two episodes, and I have seen Kamen Rider Zoe, which is the weird, scary one. And if it's anything like that, I'm in. But that one, you know what? It's like I'm gonna like that no matter what because I really don't have any expectations from Kamen Rider. It's just the one that I know.
They better have the Batman and the Spider-Man because if they don't have those, I'm out.
They'll be in the pro. They'll be in the pro.
They'll be like yes. Copyright cannot name. You cannot show names here. The man that is also a spider. But yeah, it was great stuff, man. Yeah. Everybody go and see it. Wait, you can't.
Well,
but we did.
You can't, but it is. Yeah, it is getting a DVD release. I don't remember when they said that's happening, but it is going to get an which, of course, like Shin Godzilla got an American release, and Ultraman's going to do the same thing. It might be a little while. I don't remember what that date is, but the information is out there. I'm just so happy to be able to see that stuff in the theater. I had to drive 2 hours away because that was the closest. But I was very happy to do it, man. And I'm excited that we're going to get more stuff like that. Yeah. I loved it. I don't have anything else to say about it. It was good and fun. And it was not, even my nitpicks are just like extreme. Just like it would be, I would like more monsters, please. That's it. Yeah. That's just what any single I say that for every movie, whether or not it's got I saw the Fablemans last week and I was like, it was great, but it needed more monsters in it. So that's my nitpick for everything.
The only one that didn't was War of the God Monsters. It had a lot of monsters, but that was terrible. I'm sorry, dinosaurs. But yeah, and now I'm ready for Shin Daigoro. That's what I'm waiting for is Shin Daigoro. Very good stuff.
Jay, you got anything else?
No, this was fun. I'm glad it's been too long. We can't we're not allowed to take breaks anymore, get sick or have any other plans.
It's been too long. Jay, it's been fun. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then I will see you 2 weeks after that in person. Yeah.
That's a month away. Yeah.
It's about a little less than a month away.
We're gonna go to Dave's Toys and we might burn that place down. Or I don't know. Maybe we'll buy a toy. Maybe we'll make. Maybe we'll make. These people have no idea what we're talking about.
I'm not spending $500 on a Orochi. I know that for sure.
I bet if you offered him that, now he'd be like, no, it's 700 now. He wouldn't even sell it.
Like,
people, we're just doing inside jokes for our audience. I'm not going to tell the story. Cool. We'll see you guys next time.
Adios.
Bye.